All right, well, we've got many questions from our viewers, but I suppose we have to start off with the issue that has been sort of driving Twitter crazy over the last few hours, and that's this business about commissioners' salaries, and there's been some action in the Senate and press conferences and whatnot happening. Maybe start with our veteran senator, Senator Nelson. I think you,
yes.
Maybe you could just bring our viewers up to speed
Sure.
on what's happened, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we think it might go.
I will tell you, it really started last week when the governor did these massive pay hikes for commissioners. My email started blowing up with citizens really all across the state saying, what, the governor is increasing his commissioners' pay by 19%, 20%, 30%, 40%. Those are massive pay hikes that Minnesotans aren't seeing. So what happened then today that probably has caused the Twitterverse to get so excited was in the Senate, we passed an amendment which basically suspended those massive pay hikes, really just until July. But interestingly enough, Senator Bach, the DFL Majority Leader, offered that amendment, and it did pass. We offered another amendment which just removed the governor's unilateral authority to do that in the first place, but that amendment did not pass. But I think the real fireworks happened afterwards at the press conference. And the governor didn't mince any words. He said that Senator Bach stabbed him in the back, that he could trust Representative Doubt, Speaker Doubt, Republican Speaker Doubt, but not Majority Leader Bach. And but it really, and there was a lot of other barbs that were thrown probably in that angst. But the one thing I will say, the governor threatened to veto the entire deficiency bill. And
this is part of another bill.
Yes, and because he didn't like the amendments about the pay raises. And I think that's very dangerous for the governor to veto that entire bill. It included some really important things like safety at the state hospital at St. Peter's. I would not want to have that on my record if there was another tragedy there because this bill had been vetoed by the governor. Ebola, the increased costs for Ebola, nobody anticipated those. And so certainly I do hope the governor reconsiders and does not veto that deficiency bill. And it's kind of a family feud in the DFL Senate and governor right now.
But of course, if there's a veto, then the bill can be split and parts of it can be passed separately as well, I assume, right?
Well, you can always introduce another bill.
Right. So let's ask Senator Franzen. All the activity was in the Senate. What do you have to say about that, and where do you think this is going?
Well, I don't want to speak for Senator Bach or for the governor. I've only seen limited media on this.
Whatever you can fit into 140 characters, right?
Whatever you can fit into 140 characters. So I kind of took a look, but at the same time, I agree that it's a deficiency bill that it's needed, and this issue is certainly something that is important for the governor. I came from the private sector, so I understand competitiveness and trying to recruit top talent. So I understand that argument, but we also have to do it cautiously. And there's plenty of room and time for negotiations in this session, so this is only the beginning. So I'm sure the boys will figure it out.
Representative Johnson, your thoughts on this dust-up and where it might lead and so forth?
Well, I'm keenly sensitive to this because that deficiency bill is primarily funding for the security hospital. And the security hospital has been under a lot of challenge in the last 6, 8, 10 months, and they need that funding badly. The funding went to provide cameras, to cover some areas where there's poor sight lines. It was used to do a short-term remodel in the facility to remove the admissions office, the admissions unit from a very secure and a dangerous unit. And it also brought on about 60 new staff to settle down what was a dangerous atmosphere, and it continues to be afflicted with assaults, and there's a lot of safety issues going on. And if we don't pass that deficiency bill, we're looking at possibly not being able to take new patients at the security hospital, possible layoffs, and this is just bad news. And I think we all need to recognize that the security hospital is a very challenging place to manage and certainly to work in. And safety and security for the patients is really critical. And so this isn't something that's merited for any kind of a political football. I was in the House Ways and Means Committee on Monday when this was brought up, also in the House Ways and Means Committee in this case it was the GOP, and all I could think is let's keep politics out of it. And I think I really ask that be done. If I had the power, I'd say we need a cooling off period. Let's just set this pay raise stuff aside on both sides, pull it out of the bill. Let's pass that deficiency bill, move forward, and deal with that in a more rational manner. So if there could be a little cooling off period, I think the state would benefit from that, and importantly, the folks who work at the security hospital would definitely benefit from that.
Representative Anderson?
Well, so I have a lot of the commissioners' salaries are under my jurisdiction for state government finance. And my biggest concern as a chair is how is this going to impact the overall budget? We have a $1 billion surplus, but we don't want to see that going to salaries, and I don't think the citizens of Minnesota expected that to happen. And especially when we're talking about these are political appointees. They've only been in office for 4 years. They're only going to be in office for another 4 years. Typically, that's generally how it goes. And I think it's just the wrong message to send Minnesotans that, these salaries are a higher priority than anything else in the state, whether that's transportation or education or you name whatever you're passionate about. So I think that's a big concern that I have. I think that we have to peel back the authority that the governor was given in 2013. I didn't support it, and I certainly think that this is a good time for us to rein that back in, because no one should have that unilateral opportunity to do those kind of salaries without the legislative input, and more importantly, the input of the public. And I'm like Senator, you're always a representative.
Once
first.
a rep, always a
Yes,
rep, I guess.
always. And,
As we say here, somebody got insulted, but we're not sure who.
Yes. But, for me, I've gotten numerous emails from both constituents and people across the state, and it has struck a chord with them. I had a single mother of 3 children. She says, how dare you guys do this? I'm putting through 3 kids through college, and you're doing this with my taxpayer dollars. She was livid. And I've had several other examples. I have even had state employees that say this should not be happening. So I think the public has grave concerns about this. We need to address this quickly and get it done with. And I agree, it should not be impacting the deficiency bill. I was very alarmed when the governor said he would veto the bill. And hopefully the legislature will let him know if that happens. There's other options that we have available to ourselves.
And stay tuned. I suspect we haven't heard the last of this, right?
No.
All right.